Autopilot engaged. Destination reached.
New Eden. An anomaly.
Faring pod junkies, welcome to New Eden FM, your weekly update on all things Eve, and also your mix of beats, new and old, to help you get those playlists updated. Because let's face it, how many people actually update their playlists every single week? But we might be able to skip that part this week, right? Because NetEase keeps on dropping new tracks on us for the anniversary celebration. This is Maestra in the studio behind the decks, ready to bring it to you. Of course, it isn't a show without the whole crew, am I right? Alondria of the Galaxy, what's going on, sweetheart?
Oh, not much. Just hopping in the game here and orbiting this wonderful, wonderful ocean planet that I'm just wanting to go take a little swim. It is so hot.
No kidding. No kidding. And Latara, who's finally getting proper props for all the hard work that they put in to this show week after week after week. What's up, eh?
Not bad. You know, it's the 3 hours I like to rat, so hopefully I don't die again this time.
Dude, you're out there ratting again?
Always. This is the perfect time for me to complete my Concord pass.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So today's show is no mystery to you. You already know what it is. The Sleepers have invaded, and they've brought some cool new gameplay features and very hard instance content for you to lose faction battleships in. State of the War, having a bit of fun with Trimarch on yesterday, of course. Our Content Creators Corner featuring New Eden's Best and Brightest right now. Start up the dance party. This is Vibrate by P.D. Pablo. This is, in fact, New Eden news, and I don't think that we can actually have a New Eden news segment this week without starting with the thing that's pretty much on everyone's mind and the content that everyone is exploring, whether you're doing it with your ships or you're doing it with your wallet. The Sleeper event came, and it came pretty hard on last week with not only some new content, but also an option for those of you that really want the new implants that were being talked about, ETH disambiguation, of course. You can pretty much get that tier 4 implant for like $100, which, I mean, I gotta have mixed feelings about that whole thing. Benzie, of course, made a video about it, so I'm not gonna get too far or go very far into this whole thing about how it's so easy for some people to just bypass the actual having to play the game to earn the implants. But you know, on the side of things that I mean, I'm kind of used to it at this point, right? I think most of us are accustomed to seeing this kind of thing happen at this point. So we got Sleepers, which included Dormant Realms, and that content is no joke. Within the first few what? Within the first like couple of hours, people were losing faction battleships in there.
Yeah, I think people didn't expect it to be as hard as it is, but it looks like they've actually put some challenging content in this game for now. I mean, the time limit is really a big deal, so you need like hyperspec ships. Like, people are buying ships in particular just for Dormant Realm content, which is good for industry to a degree, I guess. Especially if they change up the Dormant Realms enough over time that that meta shifts.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It is very nice in the way that people now have another thing. I kind of do agree with what Benzie was saying about how he kind of wishes that everything wasn't battleship centric, which it currently kind of sort of is. It's very much battleships, and more battleships. And it would have been great to see some content where maybe anything cruiser and below could come in. That way, people have a reason to get into cruisers. I, for one, I like cruisers, and I have a few cruisers, and it would have been great to have an opportunity. Now, this is coming from someone who primarily flies battleships, and I fly battleships by choice, right? I enjoy flying battleships. I very much love my Balgorn, and as Latara will tell you, I have been spending a good amount of time enjoying my APOC Striker lately, so it's not really a big deal for me. I'm glad that, battleships can come in, but it would have been great to have content for people who maybe don't want to fly battleships all the time. Nevertheless, it is very challenging content, and yeah, don't go into the Dormant Realm and just like YOLO around. You will get killed. I do believe that they've addressed that problem that was going on when Dormant Realms first came out. I and one of my corp mates went in to check out the content and stuff, and they lost their ship and all the modules. So basically, it showed a blank kill mail when the sleepers killed them, and so he had to reach out to NetEase about that situation, because I mean, it does say that you're supposed to lose ships if you go in the Dormant Realm and you get killed by the sleepers, but it was a little bit messy. So I believe that a patch did in fact fix that the day right after, and then we get into the whole thing with the implants. Am I right, Latara?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big one right now. I know a lot of the theory crafters and doctrine guys for alliances are trying to work out, is it worth it? Can we push our guys to get this certain implants for our doctrine? And it definitely looks game-changing in terms of meta shift, which is good. Again, it's good to keep things moving. We don't want it to get stale, because then all the big null blocks will have same doctrine, the same like counters for each other, and it won't be as fun. But if the meta keeps changing, it's interesting. You've got to find out new ways of attacking, new ways of defending. There's definitely I think there's a few of the implant upgrades that just look busted. Like you've got your turning your Typhoons and Ravens into newt boats with one of them, basically, right? There's ECM drones, I think, is one that's sort of like an upgrade.
I mean, it's kind of interesting. As long as those things have like a cooldown for how much they can trigger, it'll be fine. Because
they have a cooldown. It's I think it's 30-second activation, maybe, with a 60-second cooldown. So it's very similar to what the max stabs and gyros used to be, and all that,
Yeah, right. Well, that's gonna be. I don't really know yet. I do know that Mel was having a lot of fun on yesterday.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
I mean, poor Trimarch to a degree, right?
Oh my
Those guys got
gosh,
dropped on twice yesterday.
Oh my gosh, that was pretty terrible. So we'll get into that a little bit more during the state of the war part of the show. But at Trimark, we were just having a little bit of fun with them, admittedly, and they knew we were having a little bit of fun with them. And the truth is, we were actually planning on helping them because they were pretty good sports and they let us, roam their space, and they knew we were just there for content, not trying to like destroy their community or anything. So they were pretty good sports about it, and we really were going to do that to like maybe Red Machine or something, but
Oh yeah.
it was pretty unfortunate the way that happened. So yeah, you do have new implants. You have the focus crystal, which strengthens the stimulation crystal of the laser, continuing to increase its power while it's attacking. The pulse crystal optimizes the operation mode of the laser crystal so that it can generate more firepower by using additional electricity, aka capacitor, during its operation. Barrage repression, which changes the cannon's loading mechanism to obtain a higher firing rate, but the additional recoil will reduce the precision. Sniping technology grants cannons the ability to perform precise calibration on their target, greatly increasing the accuracy and power of the first strike. High power coil, residual energy from railgun attacks. That one is, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I'm not a huge fan of rails. Maybe you want to take that one. And I think that the thermal circulation, Latara.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't delved too deep into the implants yet, primarily because I think the cost is going to massively decrease over time. So that's when I'm going to look into it a little bit more. From the way it reads, from the brief glance, it's basically a lot. You get damage off of one, a sort of switch in damage type, and I think they've got a knockback effect similar to the cannons as well, which is nice.
Yeah, it literally is suppressive fire, which I think is pretty darn awesome. It's just a nice gameplay mechanic. I'll quickly get to the other ones. I believe that support projection, which uses special electronic warfare heads to disrupt enemy actions or disable enemy modules. Warhead charge, which charges the loading mechanism of missile warheads to adjust the damage type of missiles flexibility. I know that some people were a little bit concerned about the warheads, mostly because they thought that it could turn into this thing. So if you're fighting against Nidhoggers, yeah, you will. If you're fighting against anything else, then no, you won't. But and then you have the Bombard Tactics as a special module to the drone to significantly increase its firepower, but the drone has to return to the drone bay for loading. Automatic Defense adds a special electronic warfare module to the drone so that it can destroy enemy targeting systems. So congratulations, we have finally got ECM drones, which is a thing in EVE Online by default, but we got EWAR drones for those of you that really want that. And then there are a couple for Logi of both kinds. One for shield strengthens the shield's potential energy effect to quicken or to quickly replenish the lost shield from a target from a distance, or of a target from armor resistance continually from a distance, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, there's definitely some interesting abilities that are being added to the system. Very interested to see where they go and sort of what the prices stabilize at once the market starts to saturate. Because obviously right now everyone who is pretty much getting these materials is selling either to friends or alliance mates before they're putting them on Jita Market.
And if they're putting them on Jita Market, those things are expensive, really expensive. I haven't had a chance to look at them over the past 2 days because I've been busy between the clubs. But I would imagine right now it's probably in the billions if you really want to get those. And of course, if you are one of those people that wants to like jump to the front of the line, you can buy those golden are the tier 4 implants for around $100. I'm a kind of on the fence concerning that whole thing because, like the whales.
I'm personally, I think the biggest issue with implants is the fact they're not lost on pod death, which just means the market is going to saturate over time, and the new content is going to become worthless. Unless they are consistently adding new implants periodically to the game, then it will remain a good, reasonable source of income. But the fact they're not lost on pod death, that's painful.
I mean, it would have been really painful if they had been lost on pod death and people were spending like hundreds of bucks to get those implants, only to have them lost when they lost the ship or got potted.
Well, that's where like the jump clones come into effect, right? Like that's what jump clones are used for in EO. Why can't they be used for that here?
Because the implants in EO are earned, not. I mean, you either earn them through earning ISK or something. I mean, I agree with you. In the implants in EVE Online, they don't do the things they do in EVE Echoes. They don't dramatically change the way that systems operate and things like that. I think that it would have been nice if they had, if they worked that way. It could have been good, but at the same time, it's also. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's terrible the way that they work. I'm not going to say it's different. And it's really hard to just, look at it and go, oh, well, I mean, they should have just indefinitely did what they were going to, or what was done in EVE Online and just made it reasonably simple. Which, I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of on the fence about how that whole thing worked.
Yeah, like I say, I feel like the biggest issue is going to be the fact they're not lost on pod death, meaning that basically. Oh wait, we might have lost sound. Have we lost sound?
Oh dear.
Lost sound.
Oh boy, we have lost sound. Can someone check it out in the sound of us? Let me go ahead and check the other thing really quick.
We missed you guys.
Yeah, totally. In the total, like, what was it, 2 minutes it took to get the bot back up?
I was just sitting at home, rocking back and forth, going, when can I talk to my people again?
it's like some poor sap that's just like sitting in a prison cell against their will.
What's being said right now is going out, and that's the only thing going out. There's no music thing.
Okay. That's fine, actually.
So it's working. So
okay, yeah.
Sure
just making sure.
We're on the air. Just making sure we're on the air.
That's perfect. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. But I think in regards
more proof, people, that we do this live.
Right. More proof than we do it live. I mean, we can't account for every technical issue that might come up. And this time, apparently, the bot didn't want to be friendly with us. But
no.
As far as the implants are concerned, yeah, they could have done it like EO, where, when you get potted, you lose the implants. Jump clones were very important for this whole thing, but it's kind of instead a progression system, which is somewhat nice depending on how you're looking at it, and also kind of like, well, I mean, I said this already, but I really am kind of on the fence about how they did it this time. I like progression systems. I think that they tend to be pretty cool. Having the ability to kind of like customize how you want to play the game and make your playstyle a little bit more unique compared to other people's has always been a thing that I find is very welcoming in games. But with this one, I don't know, man. I don't know. And then it's Tech 10 only content, so it literally locks everyone that is below Tech level 10 out of being able to actually do the content with their friends.
No. It's not T10 content.
Earning them is.
It's what do you mean?
Earning them through the sleeper events?
No. T8 content.
Oh, yeah.
The best ship for it right now is a Nightmare and 3 Vindicators. So it's T8 content, realistically.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. I guess if you have a T8 or Tech 9 character that started scaling into battleships, the day that they became Tech 8, then okay, so it's Tech 8 content or Tech 9 content, whatever. But
It's like it's mid to top tier content. That is
That's fair.
very true, but I mean, it feels realistic, right? It is very much a case of. I don't think you should be able to day one into a sleeper
heck
site,
no.
right?
Oh God, no. That would be horrible. Could you imagine? But I mean, that's in every game, right? You do have to kind of like, I guess, level up a little bit so that you can actually start to enjoy some of the content that your friends are doing, and it's fine, right? I'm not saying it should be day one content. I just kind of wish that maybe it had been a little bit easier for newer pilots that want to do things with their friends, and it's just that those lower tier levels, 7 and below, can be very harsh on newer pilots. Just an observation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
I mean,
it take a
it's one of
while
those where
to get there too.
it's one of those. I know that some of the guys have literally when they're putting a group together for these sites, they're like, "I've got a nightmare. I need 3 vindicators. That's all I want."
To be honest with you, Nathan, and I actually kind of agree with what you're saying, and this is in The Sound of Us. He makes the statement, I think implants are fine. I think that the community needs to get over the comparison to EO. That said, they wanted a different game, so we should embrace that. Just my opinion. I think that what people really wanted was a reset on the EVE universe, because EO is actually it's a 20-year game, and it was already established, and a lot of people that came over from EO came over because they just wanted to rebuild a brand new universe. Like, I might be wrong, but I think that if ever CCP decided that they wanted to reset the EVE servers, you'd probably see a lot of people leaving EVE Echoes to go back to EO because they just want a fresh game to rebuild all those empires that are currently long standing. Of course, you're going to have the 10 and 20 year players that are still there, but a lot of people just wanted to have a chance to rebuild a new universe, and I think that was the whole thing. As far as comparisons to EO, there were some things that were utterly messed up. Some things probably shouldn't have been touched. The implant system, I will be honest with you, I don't think that it's bad. I think it's different, but I don't think that it's bad. On the flip side of things, I believe what they did with, say for example, exploration, that should have never been touched, because that is an absolute train wreck. Exploration is so bad in this game. But aside from that, it's fine. And I believe that the next statement was what Wise Fool said. As she said it best, thank you for not making it worse. We all know you can. Tofo makes the statement, the day that small ship pilots rely on NetEase to provide them with content is the day they become disheartened with the game. This is a sandbox game, okay? And Sheeved, hey Sheeved, good to see you again. You're like my favorite. Come on down for the Content Creators Corner, by the way. It's Battleship content, so anyone who ain't skilled in Gen are outside. But this progression is not good for the game. It was an extra thing, it would be fine. Or if it was an extra thing, it'd be fine. But it's something that we all will need in the future. So this is just a secondary Tech 10 barrier. I mean, to an extent, yeah, you're kind of right about that. And I mean, with the implants, I think that a progression system in the game is very nice. I just wish that it had been a little bit more inclusive, is all I'm saying. I think it's good. I don't mind the way that they did it in this game. I just kind of wish it had been a little bit more inclusive. I would have been fine if, say, for example, well, until you're like Tech 10 and Meta, you can't get to like the highest tier of the implants. But hey, at least by the time you hit like Tech level 8, you can start working on the small ones, or Tech 7, maybe you can start working on the small ones and stuff and get a feel for it. But man, oh man, it's pretty rough. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And I'm taking a moment just to kind of like look at the Sound of Us. Go ahead, Latara.
Yeah, I was just saying. I think it's one of those that right now it seems very expensive in terms of even in-game money to yourself the implants and upgrade them to the point of them being broken. Well, not broken, but very powerful. Because these things aren't lost on Mato. So you do want implants, and you're not mega rich in game or real life. By that matter, just be patient. Like you'll get there, guys, and it's very much that. It's going to be very attainable.
Yeah.
And eventually, it'll be very attainable. Eventually, and I would honestly see it being maybe a month before the prices drop to a affordable point. But happy to wait that long.
Yeah. In the meantime, everyone gets a battleship, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think so. Taylor, I see. I mean, I know you're debating the lower tier levels with the battle cruisers, and it's very, very true. I think it's that most people, once they hit T8 or T9, have respec into battleships because they keep getting told by people bigger is better. So I think that's why it's been not forced upon people as a battleship content. I think it's just the ratting meta has sort of pushed people in that direction. And that's that sort of whole point.
Yeah, pretty much. Just screwing around in the sound of us, because that's why it's there, right? Now,
Yep.
really quick, because I know that we kind of we've been on this for quite some time. They did update the new interface, and give us a new interface, I should say, and it's a nice interface. I mean, it can be a little hard to read if you're if you do have vision problems. Like that text box is very, very, very strenuous on your eyes. But for the most part, I like it. It's a very sleek interface. It offers more space for the actual game screen and what's going on, and a little bit less clutter. It feels less cluttered and condensed. But I do think that there should have been some options in there for people who might not have very good eyesight.
Yeah, I mean they sort of shrunk down the chat box and then made local bigger. So it's takes up as much room, if not slightly more.
Yep. I mean, it is what it is. Upgraded fleet interface. I mean, it's kind of nice. I would have really loved to have focused windows so people could start actually, focusing things like their FCs and their anchors, specifically Logi, would have benefited from that the most, and we didn't really get that. So it is what it is.
I do quite like the when you follow, it now goes underneath your lock bar. The problem is if you need your overlay open, it hides the first 3 of them, so it needs to jump left when you've got the overview open, so you can actually see it. Especially if you're an FC and you want to keep an eye on your essential fleet members, right? You go, I want the guy who's anchoring for me, I want followed. The guy who's anchoring for my Logi, I want followed. The backup FC, I want followed. So you can be like, okay, well, I'm going down, so you take over because I can see you're still fine.
Yeah, it would have been really nice, and that's what those focus bars are in there for in EVE Online. And yes, I know, throw knives at me for mentioning EVE Online, but these are quality of life things that you kind of need if you're doing a lot of fleets. It would be great to have those.
I don't like the fact that where you're get your follow commands or approach commands or anything like that the FC sending out now is in a different. Not only is it in a different place, but it's smaller and harder to, especially to box around.
It is a little harder to see, I agree. And it is. Well, the thing about it is when you open it, it collapses the chat box. So it probably should have been that you could move some of that stuff around so that you wouldn't have that problem. But it collapses the chat box. So if you open the fleet interface, it's just. It's kind of like you have to choose one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I liked moving the command box, like, sort of like middle of my screen, or just to the right of like the central bar, because you're already pretty much posed there with all your modules on the bottom right hand side, so you can easily just like be like, oh, like take that target, okay, and then activate my mag stabs, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you. 100% agree with you. That's why I'm kind of like, a little bit, okay, this is a great interface. It's very well optimized. It just wasn't very well, in my opinion, thought out for people that are supposed to be EVE gamers. While we're still waiting on a focused target box is beyond me. That's a very simple thing. And it would be very much welcomed and appreciated. I mean, we didn't really need caretaker mode, right? But we did need a focus box so we could see the status of important ships in our fleets. But, it is what it is.
I'm not too familiar with EO. Like, my experience is Echoes, so I know a bit about what happens in EO, especially, like, I've done some research in terms of fleets and different ships as well, because I just find that stuff interesting. It's why I'm frothing at the mouth for a Panther.
Yeah, you want the Panther. You also want Covert Ops /Eve? Covert Ops battleships, yeah.
Oh no, Black Ops battleships.
Yeah.
I think Covops cloaks on a battleship would be dumb.
I have to...
Fun, but dumb.
I have to remind myself of all the things on those ships. I know that they had the jump bridge technology. But I'm more interested, like, when I play EO, I'm more, like, messing with other stuff. Like, my main is almost finished skilling into a Dreadnought. So, I don't worry too much about the other things. I was a little bit salty that in EVE Echoes we don't actually get that disruption resistance that you find in EO off of the siege modules, which would have been great yesterday. By the way, I was tracking disruptor to hell. It's like they saw me on grid, and the only person they recognized was like Mackenzie. So they just stacked tracking disruptors on me as soon as I hit grid. I'm like, guys, really? Like, you don't know who Mel's ult is, so you can stack tracking disruptors on him instead. I was the only name they knew in local. So I kind of regret not having an ult for Dreadnoughts, but it is what it is. So we do have the Sleepers event that is that is ongoing at the moment, guys. There is the Way Out of Sleep, which is going on until August the 24th. So you have that one. You have the Sleeping Auditorium. That is going on until the 24th as well. There's even a new navigator program for those of you that need skill points to, I don't know, maybe skill into dreads. You can invest in that. The recruitment event is up and running once again. And there was a store update. Now, I'm not going to piss off Nathan by mentioning how those old school nanocores that people kind of wanted are up there for like $100 if you want it for a battleship, but that's okay. Yeah, it's all well and good. I mean, we don't need it. I would have loved to have gotten a nanocore for my APOC, but it's fine. It is what it is. I mean, for $100 I may as well just buy the implants, right?
Yeah, I was gutted they didn't add them to the
kind of thing where we could just, here you go, guys, happy anniversary. But like, it was a little bit rough. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. It was a little rough, and even if they had been up there for like maybe $20, $30, I would have been like, all right, fine. But $100.
It's again that thing, especially for nanocores, like to put them up for forum is like, well, you've got no choice but to spend real money. But
Yeah, that's the whole point.
if
Right?
they'd have put them on there for Plex, I think it would have been much more attainable for a lot of people. Even if it was like what 1,000 Plex for like a battle cruiser and nano, like I'd have dropped that.
I
I'd
really,
have dropped that in in-game cash.
I agree with you, and I mean, I feel really bad because a lot of people, including hell, some of the members in my corporation, they play the game 100% off of, off of like just they grind for everything that they need. And so it's very beneficial for them to have the option of either grinding for the ISK or maybe just dropping money on the AUR. A lot of the times I'm too busy to actually play the game and to grind the way that they do, so it makes more sense. I just go ahead and I throw money at it and I make the problem go away. But I just kind of, it's the option, right? I think it's the option that would be great for some people. I don't claim to be a wallet warrior. I will claim to say that if I don't have time for something and I really need to, make it happen, I will throw money at it and make it go away. I'll make that problem go away. But I know that that's not everyone's play experience, and it shouldn't have to be. I think that's the only thing if they, that they could really address. Stop so much AUR spending, guys. Just put it up there for Plex. It's fine. People will either grind for it. I mean, somebody's got to buy the Plex, right? For it to be on the market, someone's got to spend money on the AUR in the first place. So, it's fine, right?
Well, we do get a new Concord Pass here in not too long. I'm kind of hopeful that it'll be kind of an anniversary Concord Pass thing with maybe good stuff that we can get in the store if the dev's smart. We'll
Dude,
see if
people
it's
have been
smart.
praying for faction battleship core. I'm sorry, for capital ship cores to be in the Concord Pass, even for an absorbent amount of Concord points. They've been, begging for it for months. We still don't have it yet.
Well, if they're smart, if devs
Yeah,
are
man.
smart, this Concord Pass will be something really cool, some sort of anniversary themed thing with extra goodies in it to kind of engage the player base. If they're smart.
If
That's
is
a
the
big
big
if.
one there.
That's why if is the key word of the day. We'll more likely just get some industrial penetration.
Oh my gosh. Penetration. So Clone Purchase Gifts event update. They did to get rewarded for subscribing to the game for advance or for being subscribed to the game for a longer period of time, including a new praxis. If I'm not mistaken, it's a red praxis. I do have one since I just pretty much dumped like $100 and recoup my membership for another year, and it's a really cool looking ship. Let me know if you want me to post pictures of it in the sound of us. I'll do it for you. But I mean, aside from that, it's nice, and I wouldn't say that it's overpowered either. It's got really nice bonuses. It rewards you no matter what you skilled into in terms of large weapons, and generally speaking, it's not a bad looking ship. Now, in order to get that nano core, you are going to have to be subscribed for, I think, like 1100 days, 11 or close to 1100 days. It's like 1080 days, which is fine. It's all well and good. People who paid for the game for a year
Basically,
already have it.
That's basically the 3-year mark is when you get the core. Just like you got the core for the last praxis at the 2-year mark, I think. Oh.
It's a really nice ship, though. It's a very versatile ship, and a thumbs up them for doing that. I believe that the Capsuleers are the corporations who got into the Voyage ceremony formation event. They are finalizing that whole thing. I believe the ceremony should be going off pretty soon, or taking off pretty soon, which is great, right? In addition to all of that really long list of patch notes that we also got market updates and some bug fixes. So that's that's very nice. Again, lots of content for you guys, whether you're a wallet warrior or you prefer to really grind it out. There is a lot of stuff that you can get from this current update. And while it's not what they did with EVE Online, and I am definitely guilty of saying, geez, guys, if you're going to break the system, you may as well just made it like EVE Online, right? And I feel that way for a lot of things, like scanning, for example. I feel like that's just broken, and people keep on asking them to fix it. And it's just not lucrative, right? That's fine. That's one thing. But I with this a new take on implants, I think that it wasn't terrible. I think that as people start to get into those a little bit more, it'll be a little bit nicer. Before we wrap this segment up for the week, your weekly Q&A. And question number 1, have you considered having the ITC tax rate set on a sliding scale against system security level and try to encourage trading outside of JITA? If less security is provided, surely your taxes should be lower. The answer to this was, thank you for your feedback. During certain events, we reduce the tax rates at the Amar System Trading Center to encourage everyone to trade there. I don't think that quite answers the question, but, okay. It's kind of like we've already got this in our code. We don't want to code more.
Yeah, that one just feels like they're not willing to try and diversify the ITC markets.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they don't want us to have like Citadel trading where we can set up markets, actual markets inside of structures. I mean, which is weird because like even in Eve Echoes, there are like, I believe, market terminals that you have to build as pieces of the structure in order to build the structure. So it's like all the little marketing terminals and announcement boards are in there, like the parts are there, but the function just is not there. So it is what it is, but it would have been really great. Now that Tier 4 rigs have been introduced and are done by reverse engineering, is it possible to introduce the same with higher tier drones? As in, reverse engineer them using lower tier blueprints plus data items? The answer to that is thank you for your feedback, but at present drones have their own corresponding blueprints and there's no plan to make adjustments to them. The third question is, can we get the ability to look at things like the ship tree while we are in the waiting screen for faction war games, as it will give us something to do while we're waiting in on a game? And the answer to this was, thank you for your feedback, but our current plan is to optimize the gameplay of faction war games so that we can shorten the waiting time through increased participation. So
Yeah, there was one night I waited 30 minutes for a match. Never came. I just said I have better things to do.
I play games on my PC while I'm waiting for faction war games to actually open up. Like I don't sit there staring at the screen. But for people that are playing on their phones and say, for example, might just want to come in and get a quick game in, right? You just want to come in, get a fast game, and just have a little bit of fun. I can understand how painful that probably is for those people. And my heart does bleed for you. I'm sorry. The faction war games, it is a very long it's a very very long wait. Wow, Tom just made me laugh. Wait, what do you mean? I read in my HR voice. Please explain to that while I do the final question. As a part-time industry player, I dabble in rig manufacturing. I don't build ships, as I am not a full-time indie guy, but I make and sell rigs from my exploration and in-space content. I feel it's a little unnecessary to have the waste skill points skilling into ship manufacturing just to get manufacturing slots available. The same goes for reverse engineering of blueprints. The slot shouldn't be tied to skills some players don't use. Instead, can we just skill into a particular skill we want and receive slot options for the expert skills? In each individual skill, open to suggestions on this. Any ideas the devs or the community have to change this? Thank you. And the answer to this is thank you for your feedback, but there is no adjustment plan for the time being. We hope that everyone has their own expertise. We cooperate and exchange needed items through trading. Some of these responses just don't make sense to me. Like
Yeah.
it's like
I've always looked at it like I look at it like it gives you a base knowledge, like the reason why it takes the base skills and everything to get the plot. because that represents an overall base core of knowledge you're supposed to have. Granted, you could just skill into like battleship and get just a slot, and I mean, how many battleships are you having to really build? Are you cranking them out?
That
How many
depends
slots
on
do
if
you
you're
need
working
if
for a
you're not?
corporation.
Right, but if you're working for a corporation, odds are you're not just building one specific thing for them. You're building
Oh,
several.
yes.
And
Oh,
so,
yes.
I get what the OP was talking about there with the not wanting to specialize in all of them. You have to get frigate, destroyer, cruiser, battle, get all the slots unlocked.
I agree.
But
I
you
agree.
only have to get the first 5 levels to get the slot unlocked. You don't have to take anything you don't want to advance. Level 5 on, like, frigate and destroyer even are really low S involved. If you just wanted to skill those up and skill up battleship and more focused just on battleship, taking that to advanced expert and build those, the extra slots from those, got enough slots to probably do manage personal industry or maybe industry for friends. But if you're going to get in corporate level industry, you probably want to get all of them and get all those slots and do real industry if you're doing it at a corporate level. So I mean, I get that, it takes more SP, but so does combat.
Yeah, it does. The question is, so this is just a purely speculative question, but would it be better if, say for example, we instead of having to skill that, we had to instead skill, like, maybe, for example, there was a skill specifically for opening those slots. Now you have to waste SP just so you could get the slots. And then if you want to take additional things, like, say, for example, well, I kept out battleships. Now I want to do battle cruisers. You still have to get, that at least base level knowledge. I mean, trust me, if they decided that, okay, well, fine, you make a good point, they're just going to put another skill in the game and you're going to have to skill that in order to get the slots to open anyway. So it really just kind of defeats the purpose to do it.
You've got the skill to actually use drones, to actually be able to use all of your drones. You've got a drone with a ship with 5 drones. If you don't have your drone skills skilled, you're not going to be able to actually deploy all of your drones.
Yeah, that's very true. And to be fair, the same thing exists in EVE Online, though, so they didn't really change anything from that. And for those of you that are wondering, for both scientific research as well as industry production, you do have a separate skill in EVE Online for both of those that are completely different from the manufacturing skills in EVE Echoes. The difference is that in EVE Online, there are less like baseline skills. Like, instead of being called frigate manufacturing, it's just called small ship manufacturing, medium ship, advanced medium ship manufacturing, because anyone can really just build the ships, and all it really does is open your ability to build certain ships, like Tech 2 ships and stuff like that. It's a different system. It's a completely different system. The way they did it in EVE Echoes is not really that bad, but either way, you would have had to have skilled. Picture this, right? To open all the manufacturing spots for either building or in scientific research in EVE Online, with the best attribute, like point allocation, it is still going to take you a minimum of 27 days. It's an investment one way or another, right? So I've got my indie clone over there in EVE, and she's literally just skilling these things that are taking like an entire month. It's basically a month of subscription fee just to skill this one thing, right? But it's fine. It's not as bad as you guys think, I promise. But that's the Q&A, and there's some other stuff going on and lots of promotion for the implants and stuff. And of course, the new music. Lots of new music that they've been releasing since this event went live, which I find is really kind of cool. Completely fair. I believe that Beyond the Stars is the new theme song for this year, and it's really not too bad.
Yeah, I play with the sound off, so I actually haven't heard it.
Are you serious? It's actually a really good song. Like, not kidding. It's
I may have to turn the sound on to
You
check
need
it
to
out.
turn the sound on to check it out. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just like go and grab the MP3. That way you can check it out here on the show. But right now, a homage to all of my fellow corporation members in the Bell Corporation. Enter the Ninja. This is Ninja by, I believe it's
Absolutely amazing band.
Yeah, turn it up. Be just befitting to go through some of the stuff that our content creators have been doing really quick. Didn't really need an entire segment devoted to it, but I do find that, well, I mean, Sheaf gave his thoughts on the Star Faring Festival, which was really awesome. And I also think that we got new content from Damon Zell, which I have not gotten a chance to actually talk to Damon about this, and I haven't gotten a chance to watch it. But on his Eve Echo's weekly news update, he's talking about new advertising, showcasing, and stuff like that. And I'm sorry that this dropped just an hour before it was time for us to to go live, because I would have loved to have checked this out. And of course, the leader of the Space Hugger Nation is always dropping in new videos. So
Warp drive active.
Eve Echo Stop Let Me fan-made trailer. I haven't watched it yet, Chief. I'm sorry. And the podcast, Who is Maddie, huh? And that's a guy that we've had him on the show one time, but aside from that, I really don't know. So I need to take a little bit of time to figure this whole thing out.
Matty is a legend. That dude is just so much fun.
Jeez. I mean, well, you got to fly with him. You were part of No for a while.
Yeah, I flew with him when he was part of Warp as well. Down in was it Wicked Creek? I think Warp were.
When they were part of Genesis Federation.
No, Warp, Warrior Republic.
Oh,
they were the smallest entity in the CC war.
Oh, right. Yeah, dude, it is so easy to kind of, I don't know, some of those entities just kind of get lost a little bit in the shuffle if you weren't part of one of the bigger organizations, which is kind of sad, because they did play a pretty big part in these wars. But for yesterday, I believe, we had a nice little encounter with Trimark. I believe they were having a CTA against Red Machine. Red Machine was supposed to be coming for their timers. And so we just wanted content, right? We decide that we're going to go out there and like, hey guys, we'll just give you a hand. You were really nice to us and stuff. You let us, roam you a bit. You took some fights. Okay, cool. We're going to go ahead and just have a bit of fun with you and help you out. And so Mel has us bring capital ships out. We stage our capital ships, and then we're like, okay, so we're gonna have a little bit of fun with Red Machine. Red Machine didn't show up. Apparently, they caught wind that there was a burst subcap fleet nearby, and they decided that they did not want to fight. They did not want to come to Trimark and fight over this.
Yeah, I don't think they realised that we were there to just kill whatever we could, not like on one side or the other. Because I think prior we hadn't spoken to either Trimark or Red Machine.
Right. I mean, it was just us trying to get some content. I would have been more than happy to shoot both of them, to be honest.
And just sit around the edges and snipe off what we can get.
I mean, that's kind of what happened at the end of the whole thing, right? But I would have been more than happy to sit there and just go, okay, guys, let's just go out there and just shoot them both. It's great. But we were helping Trimark. It's like, all right, that's cool. They were really nice. They let us roam them. They were cool about it and stuff. I
think it's less they let us roam them, it's more they seem to put up with us roaming them.
Okay, they put up with us roaming them. That's the better way to put it. Either way, we are getting ready. We have a subcap fleet led by Wax, and we're about to go and just have a little bit of fun, get some content on yesterday. So guess what happens? Red Machine decides that they don't want to fight. They just, I don't know if they found out about the Burr subcap fleet or whatever and decided, nope. But they decide they don't want to fight. So now we're like, but we're here and we're dressed in everything. And so now it's like, okay, let's talk to Trimark and see if they'll just fight us for the, for the laws. And I mean, they kind of fought us. I mean, they kind of fought us. They were on this gate, and I think we had to jump into them. I don't know, because I was in the capital fleet, not in the subcap fleet. And let's just say it didn't end quite so well for that fleet.
Yeah, it got minced. I think Mel jumped the captain first so he could get all the kills though. That's what I think.
Well, I hate Mel right now, and the reason why I hate Mel right now is because, so it's kind of my fault, I guess. I don't really do a lot of multi-boxing, and so I skill dreads on my main, and so everyone else, I think for the most part, had dreads on one of their alts. So when I jumped the gate, I'm the only name that they recognize on grid, and they just drop all their tracking disruptors on me. For the first half of the fight, I couldn't hit a damn thing. I've just got stacks of tracking disruptors, neutralizers, and other types of EWAR on me. It's like, alright, cool, guys. I mean, you could just... Why not target the guy who's like 554 in capital cannons with the damn implant that's like smoking you, and he's just going, boom, there goes one, boom, there goes another one, boom, there goes another one. Like, damn it, Mel, we're not getting any kills, dude.
Yeah. It's almost like I was honestly surprised the carrier didn't get focused down sooner. To be honest.
I mean, we did have logic support on grid, if I'm not mistaken. So
We did.
But I would have expected that to be. They tried to attack me though. Like really, I was like watching them try to take down the Naglfar, and it was kind of humorous watching them try to take out the Naglfar. But I mean, I think that what is the best way to put it? We're at an impasse, and we're at a spot where the game just really got a whole lot of new content, which FCs are going to be debating this for a while. Hopefully we can get these FCs rounded up. That's like herding cats, by the way, guys. I just want to point that out to you. We have had plenty of conversations and plenty of talks with FCs to get them to come on to the show and to have the next FC roundtable, but it's so difficult to catch them on on schedule where they can come in and they can spend that hour or two doing it. And trust me, it sucks. I very much miss Tahini. But
yeah, I mean we've spoken to Tremeljack and Fosh Patain, both from Silent, about coming on, but both are in I think an awkward time zone for the live show, so we'd have to do a pre-record with them.
Definitely. I mean, Fak is in Japan, so that's plus 12 UTC.
Plus 7, I think.
Plus 7. I know that by the when it's like 1 p.m. here, it's like 2 a.m. Where he is. So it's a little bit challenging to get Fak on the show. But right now, I can tell you that the FCs are pretty much all doing the same thing. The same thing that's going on in Burr is happening in No, and so on and so forth. Mel makes an announcement saying, okay guys, I need you to do this thing, and then the meta drops. It's like, oh guys, hold off on doing that thing until we can investigate what this new meta is. So we're still getting content, but there's this big, oh my goodness. I'm glad that I'm not involved in it. I typically am the person that will ask questions after someone else has provided, oh, hey, this is what we're doing. I'll investigate whatever the strategy is, whatever the new doctrine is, and ask questions. But I'm not that person that's going to sit there and figure out, okay, so for this fleet comp, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and lay out the whole thing. I'm more or less the person that will wait and see what people come up with and then go, okay, why are we doing this? Because I've done that before. I find it to be enjoyable when you have the time to do it, but if you don't have the time to do it, it kind of sucks. So it'll be interesting to poke the FCs to get their idea on what they think about this new meta, how they think that implants are going to start to impact the meta. It is going to take a few months, like we explained during New Eden News. because let's face it, people are not really getting these implants, very easily. It's got through very, very, very hard gotten. My English is horrible, by the way, people. It won't be long before my German is better than my English is. I swear, you heard it here first. But it won't happen for a while, and the reason why is because not everyone is in a position to drop $100 for these implants.
Yeah, I mean, we can ask a solo PvP's opinion on implants, I guess. Sheev, I mean, you just joined us in the studio. What do you think? Do you think they're going to improve your solo gameplay, or do you think they're going to make things a nightmare?
Yeah, well, I think it would be. I think it's good. Like the bonuses are great. And as you said, like we talked about jamming drones. That's what I'm going for. When the drones make you lose your target and stuff like that. I think it's good. I just don't like how they made it. If you look at, for example, WoW back in the day when they had these legendary weapons, and they changed it into you had a legendary weapon that you leveled up or something. You had these bars with stuff that you had to do, and now we get this here. And I've been trying to level up my implant to do that.
Hey, why go for a drone implant over a railgun implant?
Yeah, because in PvP, as I go like 1-on-1 or 1 versus 3 or whatever it is, when I get a fair fight, it's not always what I have that makes the fight go the way I want it to. If I can disrupt them, if I can change like their own build for what they had in mind, if I can destroy that, then I will win the fight. So if they have a very good damage, let's say that they go for lasers, then the more they hit, the more damage they will do. If I can disrupt that, that's fine. If I can disrupt them and they have to like take time to lock me again, that is also very good. So I'm aiming for that because I think that could be good.
Yeah. So yeah, you're looking at like playing the disruption game, right? Like you have a plan.
I think so.
I'm gonna remove this one piece of it and see if that tips the odds in my favor. That sort of a play style.
Yeah, I mean that is what you have to do if you're gonna go against someone. I mean, if they are cap stable and you can make them not cap stable, that is good for you. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how good ship they have. I mean, if I can disrupt them now and then, that's gonna annoy them. And yeah, maybe I can get away. Not that I do get away, but the idea just to have an option.
I've seen your video, Sheev. You're there till you're dead or they're dead.
Yeah, I know. It's stupid, but as I say, I'm looking for the like below 20% structure. That's when I'm the happiest, because if I survive, that's amazing. But yeah, by the way, you guys talked about Demon XL's video and you didn't see it. I just tell you, go and see it. I had to make a video because I saw it. It was so funny. The way they made this trailer, that is nothing like Eve at all.
Oh yes.
So yeah, just go and check it. It's amazing.
Is that you see it a lot with mobile games in particular? Like you see like a little ad or whatever, and it's just nothing to do with how the game actually looks and plays.
It's pretty much like the pin games. Drag these pins here and there, and the game is not that. Or you go and kill that boss and you get all these loot and whatever it is. Here it's like if you have 5 cruisers or whatever it is, then you can build Dominics, and it's just weird landing on planets. And yeah, I don't know what happened.
They could have quite easily just like reached out to some of their content creators and gone, "Yo, can we use a snippet from one of your videos in our ad?" Like,
yeah,
I made one. Some of the videos that like Tahini's put out. Like, can we pinch like a 10-second clip from here, a 10-second clip from there? And it was like, oh, that would be epic, because it does show
really good.
what it's about.
And that is what people want to see too. I mean, they saw my video now and they be like, I don't even play the game anymore, but I want to go in and seek revenge. And yeah, I mean, people want kind of the good drama. Something bad happens to you, and then you like rebuild yourself, and then you go and you take back the honor, and just like do a video like that. Don't trick people into this game because they're not gonna stay.
Yeah, they might subscribe for the first month and then be like, yeah, I'm done. Like, maybe that's what NetEase wants. I don't think so, because more sustained games are better income, right?
It might be that the companies see that these ads are actually pulling in people and money, and they just say, like, do it. I don't know. Maybe they don't have any authority to stop it, but I see that Demon XL has actually made a second video today where they say, let me see what he said. Yeah, I received a response on behalf of the devs about the new advertising. So I'm gonna watch that after this. To hear what they say, yeah.
I am very, very curious to see what the devs say in regards to that, because that video they put out was absolutely shocking. And the thing is, we all know we're all part of this community. We know how this game plays. So, like, for us, looking at that, we laugh at it and just it's like, oh, that's just BS. But to people who are looking at it for the first time, yeah, less so. Like, people might be like, oh yeah, actually looks like a game I might enjoy, and then they come here and they're like, what the hell's this?
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, you're gonna laugh when you see it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're sitting here bashing basically on NetEase. I think they've actually done a reasonable job this event.
This event is amazing. It is. It really is very good.
Think about it, like, we were all saying, like, oh, it would be awesome if we got something very similar to that first Halloween event. And we've kind of got that, right?
Yeah.
We've got the dormant sites. I mean,
I just did one.
Amazing. Like, that's basically what we were asking for like special events, right? Like, just these sites that spawn randomly, and you can fight over them, you can form a crew and just go roaming around looking for them. And like, that's great. And then obviously you've got the additional content in terms of implants and the dormant realm.
The dormant realm is nice too. I mean, you can lose your ship, and it's good. I like it. It's exciting, man. I mean, if you get to 7 or 8, it's exciting. Do you want to go to 9? I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, I haven't given it a go yet. I'm waiting basically for a little bit for all the mistakes people make to get posted online.
Man, you should do them. That's the whole game. Just jump in, man. I'm gonna do it with my rattlesnake alone, and it's gonna go bad. But if it doesn't, then it's gonna be good. Yeah. It's a lot of action in there. It's really exciting. Trust me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that part is really good. And as I say, like, the sites are good. It's pretty much like the Halloween events. And I did one like an hour ago. I had 5 or 6 visitors as I did it. So open up everything, be ready for a fight if they jump in. But they never did. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's good. It's nice. It's too like the loot is not too good, but the excitement is there.
At least it's
I think it. Yeah, I mean, the loot might not seem so good right now, but maybe later down the line we might find that loot is actually gold dust. I'm not sure. 'Cause I've been looking at
just good for new players. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Not for us.
Like, I was looking at like the manufacturing skills for implants and the reverse engineering skills for implants, and it's I mean, you can reverse engineer and build from blueprints the those compilers or whatever, the upgrade materials for implants. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's very expensive right now, and I've said it a couple of times today. I think that price will drop.
Yeah, I think so. And I think Plex prices will go up, so I'm not sure if you guys have realized it, but I put all my money into Plex recently again.
I did exactly the same thing.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Very nice. I want you all to make money, so I think it's gonna go up because through the time now when we can buy stuff with Plex, I think it's a way to make it go up.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the reason I put a lot of my ISK into Plex was I saw someone selling Plex for 2.4 mil, and there was about 2,000 of it, and I just went, even if I sell it for 2.8 later down the line, like that's a decent little chunk of ISK. So
yeah, and you're probably gonna do that. I think it might not go with 3, but if it goes to 3, I bought mine for 350, and up to 3, I mean that's good. It's 30% almost.
yeah, I mean, with any sort of marketeering or any sort of like investment, right? You're just looking for that small margin that you can just reinvest, right?
Yeah,
sometimes you can. Sometimes you can, if you predict the curve well enough, you could make an absolute killing. But that doesn't happen all that often, right?
Not so. Sometimes it depends on how much items you have. Like, do you have a lot of different items? Then there's always one item that is bound to be expensive, and then you sell that. And you buy something else.
Oh, yeah.
And then something else will rise, and then you sell that. So yeah. And Plex, I mean, you don't have. I don't think it is. There's something you don't pay when you sell and buy Plex. I can't remember what it is, but it's half. Like it's half the price.
Yeah, when you list Plex, you don't pay anything on it.
All right. Okay. So, I mean, you can the margin is a little bit better there too. It's a good stowaway money area.
Oh yeah. I think Plex is one of those sort of almost always going to be a safe bet, and sometimes it's useful to just have on hand, right? You go, oh, I need to duo my account. Oh, well, it's a good job I've been stacking up all this Plex.
Yeah, and it's easy, man. It's like if you have a bunch, then 500 is not that much. It's worse to buy Plex from ISK to Plex, man. Yeah, I don't like that feeling. It's the same way with IP though, or IP. I don't like to put my ISK to buy IP. I would rather have it some other way, but it is what it is.
Yeah, like I say, I don't think there's a good fix for insurance, because I mean the guy CCP themselves have said like they wouldn't do their insurance system the way they do it right now.
Nah, I don't believe that though. I mean, they have 20 years to change it, and they didn't. So I think they're happy. I don't know. I never heard that, so I think they're happy, and it works.
Yeah, I can't remember where I saw that mentioned, but I think it was one of the content creators who'd spoken to some CCP guys who were like, yeah, if we were to redo the insurance system, we wouldn't do it the way we did it, but they probably wouldn't do it the way NetEase has done it as well. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, it depends. I mean, how can they do it? You pay of the ship, and then you get the ship back, and it's for that particular ship too. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty easy. It doesn't matter what you throw on it. I mean, if you throw it, like if you have X types on it, you're gonna lose it. You get the hull back. I think it's pretty.
Yeah, it's
cool.
It's rough. Like I kind of don't want to go down that rabbit hole of like how to.
No, man. It's been talking about a lot.
We've been bashing on insurance pretty much since the system came into the game, and I think it's flogging the dead horse at this point.
Like, yeah.
Love it or hate it, it's here. So we better sort of just make do, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's I'm very interested.
The ships are really expensive. Like 8 bucks is 1.8. Is that because they're using it in the dormant?
So,
do you know?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at getting a second Vindicator blueprint, and I know they've been really, really popular for the dormant sites. And I think I bought my first one for 900 mil off an alliance mate, 12 That's hours good. Before they spiked up. And I think last time I looked, the blueprints was spiked to 2.4, and there was only one Vindy hull on the market at 7 or 8 billion.
Yeah, that's high, man. It's not been this high for over.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Nightmares are also spiking as well to a degree.
Oh, they are. Yeah. I sold mine. for 8.
Oh,
So
damn.
I
think-
bought it for 2.4. So it's a good price. Like it's a
I
good
think
profit.
it's primarily because they're useful for these sites, right? Like,
I think so. Yeah. So I mean that part is good.
because I think the thing is, it's people have for being late to the party, right?
That's why you always are active, man.
Or at least
Always
make sure
skill.
that you
It's not
keep
even-
your clones active so you can keep skilling it, if nothing else.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm not even talking about people who either started playing late or took a break and came back. I'm saying like people who went, oh, these dormant sites. People are saying I need a Vindy. Land like it spikes too much.
Yeah.
And they've gone, oh, I'll wait a little bit. Oh, now I can't.
Oh, yeah.
afford-
Yeah.
So what you're saying is I should start manufacturing Vindy.
yes.
No. Then they'd be cheap. Yeah.
Well-
of course. Yeah. Do
It's
it.
that balance, right? Like I think if all the indie guys start like throwing like Vindies on the market, the price goes back down. But that's supply demand, right? Like demand's
Yeah.
high, low supply, you're going to have a high price. And
Yeah.
then it also works the other way around. So if you've got a high supply but no demand, it's going to be a low price. Like it's
That's how it works.
It's how it works.
What
yeah.
you're really happy is be the person who had that Vindy pipeline. That's what they made to make money anyway, and they're just raking dough right now because they've already got their supply lines for the
Yeah.
free and blueprint, everything all lined up. They don't have to change their production model or anything. They're just already cranking them out. So you know they're happy.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the Angel guys who've been cranking out Macs for a year, and they're like, oh, come on, give us some Mac love. So they spike up to like 5
Yeah,
bill.
the Mac is going up too, man.
Yeah.
The Mac is at five something. Yeah.
Well, oh, it's a good PvP ship. It is.
Yeah, I mean, all
Yeah.
That's been seeing a lot of use in even fleet PvP. There's several alliances now who've had Mac doctrines, or at least a unofficial official doctrine. Like my friends over at Who in F Society in No, like they've had a sniper Mac fleet for months, and it's vicious. Even before them, you had Cult and the Russians in No who were running a sniper Mac fleet, and again, vicious. The guys in Genesis and obviously now into Burr have been running Brawler Max.
Yeah,
And then
nice.
Silent also introduced a Macariel fleet. So I think it's more that the Max price is going up because its demand's going up, right? Again, I don't think it's anything to do with the dormant sites, because I'm hearing the best ships for it are like Vindies and Balgorns and Nightmares.
Yeah, and I heard Striker Apox, Nightmares. What was it? Dominic's 2 Rattlesnakes, and Duo Macarios and Vindies. That's what I heard. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I think you want at least like
Yeah.
2 or 3 high DPS ships and 1
Yeah.
Nightmare, right? Or 1 ridiculously tanky Guardian.
it should be interesting to see how difficult you can go without having a Nightmare in the fleet.
It definitely would be, yeah. Like, I think the bigger one would be is how far can you go with a T8?
Yeah.
T9,
T9
Guardian.
fleet. Oh, T9 Guardian. Yeah, true.
The Ferox or the Cyclone or the Prophecy or the, not Harby, Myrmidon.
Yeah. Yeah, we did a, I think it was a level 4, but we did not have a Nightmare or any Guardian at all. So you had to tank a bit. I mean, I was in the Rattlesnake, we had a Dominix, we had Macariel, I think, and... I think we had 2 Dominixes, actually. And it was fine. I went in for tanking, but I mean, they are drinking your cap pretty hard. But yeah, it was cool.
Oh, yeah. I know, one of the No guys put a video up a couple days ago, I think, and they did a T10, so the level 10 fight with 2 Vindies and 2 Kane Lodges, and that was it.
Wow.
If I can't, it's not. I'm just joking. But yeah, I think it's nice to have hope. I hope someone lied to me just for me to go in. Because I'm gonna do it.
I'm getting a DM off of one of the guys in Burr, Tama, the legendary tackle that he is. Also seems to be a bit of a crab master, so they're saying the Vindies for the tidal locks, Apoc Strikers are the better for the Abyss, but a Nightmare is...
Yeah, of course. I'm not gonna hire them 4, so we see. I assume it's gonna be a lot harder on 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think it's good. I really like this. I really like it.
Yeah, it's good content.
Yeah, and obviously we've still got, is it 4 more Abyssal spaces? Not Abyssal spaces, Sleeper, like things that we haven't even unlocked it yet, or haven't even been open to us yet, so...
But who knows about Fighters? Capitals, I mean, in the last one. I'm not sure.
Did you say there is capitals in the last one? Or?
No, I've heard that some people talking about that there will be capitals in the last one. So you can jump in with the capitals, but nothing confirmed. So we see.
It's gonna be a nice risk. A nice
Yeah,
risk.
I thought so too. Like,
wow. I know some daredevils are gonna go out and do it, but I feel like, guys, committing capitals to clear that thing, the first people to jump in are probably gonna be the ones that are gonna lose some caps.
the first ones are the champions, man. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Like the first person to yeet a capital in one of those and lose it, it's gonna be painful.
It will be painful, and I just hope that they fix this issue that people have been having. Womps just dropped that in The Sound of Us, and the same thing happened to Lux in Bell, with I believe a Megathron. We were in there and we were just having a little bit of fun investigating the content. Same thing, blink kill mail, nothing on the kill mail, and just lost all that stuff, rigging and everything. So I don't know what NetEase said or has done because we haven't spoken since then, but that's a pretty big problem that they're saying that it's going to take some time. Like, oh, these things will take some time. It's like, guys, you didn't fix this or you didn't address this before you dropped the patch. Like, is this a beta test? What the fuck? But I don't know, man. That's the one thing that does bug me. I mean, people are committing ships to this, and it's okay with losing the ships, right? Because everyone knows that, if you die, you lose a ship. It's fine. But nowhere in the disclaimer does it say, oh, you'll lose all your rigs and all your modules and stuff like that. It's like, no, that's not intended. I don't think that's really intended. It's just the way that it's working. So that's a critical problem. Get in there and fix it. Just saying.
Yeah, hopefully we've got it all sorted. I mean, the other PSA to note is don't join people's fleets for these when you don't know them.
No. Oh my gosh. People have apparently been getting ganked by fleet members inside these dead spaces or inside these sleeper spaces. So yeah, if you don't know the people that are in there, it's better not to go at all because they will gank you. And it's kind of sad, but that's just like the EVE way, right? People have been doing this stuff in EVE Online forever. I mean, I see veteran players camping, like low sec gates. Like it's silly, and trying to kill ships. Specifically, there's one guy or two guys that likes to camp this low sec gate in EVE Online, and it's right in between Jita and a starting zone. It's like, guys, what pleasure could you possibly get out of camping this gate? Like, the only people that are going to autopilot through here so you can actually lock them are new players. So what you're saying is like you're good with just sniping new players.
I mean, it's the old welcome to Eve, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, clubbing baby seals.
Clubbing baby seals. Yeah, but
Yeah, so they can grow up and be big seals. Yeah, I don't know.
I just want to grow up and become like actual lions without the sea in front of them. You just come back all mad and stuff. Those baby seals will eventually become sharks. So, you know, or they quit the game. It just kind of depends on how much grit they have. I've never been caught in one of those gate camps, but then again, I don't autopilot anywhere in Eve. If I don't have time to if I don't have the time to go jump by jump in EVE Online, I just don't go. It is much different there. So for those of you that thinks that getting in and out of nullsec is annoying because, you know, interceptors and stuff, believe me, it could be so much worse. I promise you. It's what we have in EVE Echoes is pretty easy, pretty linear, very simple to kind of like get through this. But it's all well and good. Either way, I do agree with everything Chief said, really, and what Latara was saying earlier as well. It's a good event. It's a solid event. We've wanted something since like the Halloween event for a long time, and even though there is some, I mean, yeah, it's fine if they want to sell some stuff on the market and make some money. I don't have a problem with that. That's great. But the content is there, and I think that that's the important thing. Now, maybe this is the beginning of a new trend for them. I would love to believe that, because if the content is here, it's like, guys, this is actually pretty good. This is a pretty good event. You know, there's sleeper sites popping up everywhere. You know, there's new content for people. You know, you have a new progression system in the game. It's great. Please inform me that the next thing that we do is not going to be just like a complete and total, you know, pay to win shit show. I would love to see this trend continue. I think that it would be great, and perhaps Eve will have a much brighter future if they're able to do this. You know, in a good way.
I think so. The amount of items they put out now, it's really good.
I haven't had a chance to like look at the full market, but I do know that man, oh man, oh man, it's a lot. It's a lot, man. Like,
Yep.
it's a whole lot. And by the way, so Sheeft, I was meaning to ask you a question. Have you played with anyone who actually who bought the implants and so on and so forth? You happen to know if those implants that they bought off the market are tradable between their clones?
I have no idea.
Okay, because I've been curious
Yeah.
about that whole thing. That plus curious as to whether you can actually progress multiple implants if you really want to. That's another thing.
Yeah, I've heard you can have two,
Okay.
but I mean,
Cool.
I can't confirm it. That's just what I heard. So
Right.
choose wisely.
Right. I mean, personally speaking, I'd be fine even if you had to pull one of them out to put another one in, because I already know that odds are there's going to be some kind of doctrine one, and personally speaking, I like laser shifts, so I want the pulse crystal one for myself. So it'd be great if I could at least like pull an implant out, put another one in, or just use two of them. That way I can give Daddy Mel what he wants and still get what I want to.
Yeah.
Now, Kenzie, don't you know Daddy Mel isn't actually Mel? That's someone else's all.
That's
not Mel's
the
all.
same. I wasn't referring to. I don't even know why on earth someone
Oh,
did
dear
that.
Lord.
I don't know why someone did that. Like, so for those of you guys that are not in on that inside joke, someone renamed their character to Daddy Mel, and then started spamming "Get Dreads" in a live chat.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah,
That's dumb.
yeah, it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
It's close to what I did to Phoenix, basically. Me and him get on really well. And I renamed my main to Latara Tassador and then just went roaming in Gen space at the time.
Just.
That's great.
Man, oh man, you guys are killing me. But I'm looking at this clock, and I believe that we have hit that 2-hour mark, which is great. and content, more and more content. We don't want to keep people away from the content. Heck, I don't want to keep myself away from the content for too long. I'm gonna go and see if I can find some of these sleeper sites. Plus, for the guys in my corporation that tune into the show, guys, we really need to go and do some of these instances. I know it's gonna be kind of difficult for some of us, but I mean, I think that we already have a nightmare. We just need we need another nightmare though. We need a PvE nightmare. And other than that, like, let's just go and yeet some ships, right? And hope that we don't lose all of our modules along with it.
I'm in for yeeting.
Yeah.
Show me the way.
Yeah. I'm gonna yeet my my Apex Striker. I've been yeeting that thing everywhere. I've yeeted that thing in PvE. I yeeted it in PvP. I just like get it whenever I feel like yeeting and I just want to go in something, something fun and not endanger my Battleborn. I literally yeet that thing everywhere. I eat it everywhere.
Well,
So what ships are for?
Amari and you know what the great Amari and poet said about all this. To eat or not to eat? That is the question.
Isn't that always the question, though?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it is.
Okay, guys, go out there and yeet into some of these dormant realm sites. Also, get yourself some sleeper sites. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of New Eden FM, and as always, check out some of the other shows that are going throughout the week, especially Echoes of New Eden. That's hosted by Rambo. Show's been really gaining a lot of traction and getting more and more exciting as the weeks have gone on. I know it's late night for some of the US crew, but trust me, it's worth it, guys. Turn it up for Amon Amaroth. This is Get in the Ring
and
on New Eden FM.
Boop and Local.
Love, hugs, and kisses, Boop and Local.
There you go.
Turn it up.
See ya.